Two of the most powerful abilities in the game for the price of 0. Hard to find equipment better than this. Also, Sun Titan. Combos, card advantage, board presence, mana ramp, take your pick.
Welcome cloners to another game of Free For All Commander. This time featuring Tristan playing his Zedruu deck, Josh playing Brago King Eternal, and myself playing Asuza Lost But Seeking. This was a painfully long game. We'll probably skip around here and there for the sake of time. We got requests for more of these commanders, so that's who we're playing. Here are the opening hands. Tristan, Reliquary Tower, Clifftop Retreat, Glacial Fortress, Hallowed Fountain, Propaganda, Ancestral Vision, Humble Defector. Nancy, Forest, Wasteland, Skullclamp, Arbor Elf, Garruk's Pack Leader, Solemn Simulacrum, Arbor Colossus. Josh, Flooded Strand, 3 Islands, Plains, Return to Dust, Phyrexian Metamorph. Turn 1. Josh wins the die roll, going first and starts by breaking Flooded Strand, paying a life and finding Hallowed Fountain, putting it on the battlefield tapped. I play Forest and cast Arbor Elf. On Tristan's turn, he plays untapped Hallowed Fountain, paying 2 life and suspending Ancestral Vision. Turn 2. On Josh's turn, he suspends a card of his own, Riftwing Cloudscape, a fine card for any Brago deck. On my turn, I play Wasteland and then cast a turn to Asuza, but sadly don't play any additional lands, Drax. On Tristan's turn, he plays Clifftop Retreat and casts Humble Defector, which is a good addition to any Zedruu deck. Turn 3. Josh removes the suspend counter during his upkeep and casts Seagate Oracle, which actually has nothing to do with the hard drive. Josh adds a card to his hand and then passes. On my turn, I draw and cast Green Sun's Zenith, finding Priest of Titania and putting it into play, which currently gives me 2 Elfing mana. I then attack Tristan for 1 with Asuza, since he is open. 1 commander damage for you, hehe. On Tristan's turn, he also removes time counters and then casts Propaganda. Tristan's spells are curving up pretty nicely this game. Also, the Propaganda is going to do some work for Tristan since Josh's and my deck are very attack-centric. Tristan draws 2 cards with the Humble Defector and then gives me the Monk, probably because I keep missing land drops. Turn 4. On Josh's turn 4, he casts Sensei's Divining Top, uses it, casts Mana Vault, and then surprisingly does not cast Brago, but instead pays 2 life to cast Phyrexian Metamorph, copying Seagate Oracle and adding a card to hand. Clone count 1. Josh attacks me for 1 with his wizard since I am open. On my turn, I draw and then draw 2 more cards with the Defector, which I give back to Tristan. I play 1 land for the turn and then cast Garruk's Pack Leader, so I can get even more card draw going. Tristan's turn. He removes the penultimate time counter from Ancestral Vision, draws a total of 3 cards for the turn with the Defector and gives it to Josh to share the love. He plays Reliquary Tower and then casts his commander, Zedruu the Goat-Hearted, and passes with 8 cards in his hand at end of turn. Turn 5. Josh casts Riftwick Cloudscape during his upkeep and bounces Tristan's Zedruu when it enters. He loses 1 life from Mana Vault. He draws 2 extra cards from the Defector and gives it to me. Josh lands Nimbus Maze. Josh casts Brago this turn and then attacks me in the air for 2 of the Cloudscape. On my turn, I draw 2 of the Defector and play 2 lands for the turn. I give the Defector back to Josh, but I probably shouldn't have since his board state is starting to build up. I cast Terastodon, blowing up Tristan's enchantment, Josh's Mana Vault, and 1 of my lands. Elephants for everyone. I draw 2 cards from my pack leader. I play Forest, Jungle Basin, Returning Forest, and then replay the same forest for my 3rd land for the turn. I then attack Tristan for 4 with my pack leader, since he can't kill it. Tristan draws 3 cards during his upkeep with Ancestral Vision. He plays Island, Azorius Signet, and recasts his commander. Tristan has a lot of cards in hand at the moment. That Reliquary Tower is doing him wonders. Most of the cards are lands. In fact, I'm not sure he misses a land drop or game. Turn 6. Josh shows us how little he's got going on in his hand at the moment when he casts Return to Dust to exile my Sol Ring and Tristan's Azorius Signet. Josh then attacks with Brago and his Cloudscape both at me, which I can't block. I take 4 damage, 2 commander, and Josh blinks his 2 Seagate Oracles, Cloudskate and Brago. Brago untaps, Josh adds a card to hand, my elephant token returns to my hand, and the Metamorph copies my Terrastodon. Clone count 2. Josh blows up Tristan's Reliquary Tower and my Basin. We both get more endangered elephants and I draw a card for my pack leader. Josh draws 2 cards and gives me the Defector. Josh discards at his end step. I draw 3 cards on my turn and give Tristan back his Defector. I play lands and cast Arbor Colossus as a way of dealing with Josh's flyers. I draw a card when it enters. I then make the Colossus monstrous to destroy Josh's commander, so he doesn't run away with this game. I then attack Tristan with creatures. He blocks a beast with Zedruu, pack leader with 2 elephants, and then takes 9 damage from Tidon. On Tristan's upkeep, he puts Zedruu's trigger on the stack and then taps the Defector to draw 2 cards and then gives it to me, even though I attacked him. He resolves the Zedruu effect, gaining 1 life and drawing a card. Tristan then casts Wrath of God, but Josh doesn't like that, so he remands it, putting it back into Tristan's hand, which is not very effective for him since he's going to have to discard it anyway. Josh draws a card. Turn 7. Josh casts Mana Crypt into Swiftfoot Boots and then recasts his commander Brago. Josh then has exactly enough mana to equip him, but fortunately Tristan is ready with Path to Exile, so Josh doesn't just win the game here. Josh gets a land. Josh then attacks Tristan for 2 of the Cloudscape since he is open. On my turn, I again draw 3 cards and give Tristan back his Defector. Josh tells me to start giving the card back to him. I play lands and cast Soul of the Harvest. I then cast Lightning Greaves and equip the Elemental. I then cast Oracle of Mordaya but don't reveal any lands off the top. I then attack Josh this time with Terrastodon and he blocks with his Terrastodon. Both guys die and I pass the turn. On Tristan's upkeep, he stacks the Zedruu trigger and then in response taps the Defector to draw 2 cards. He then gives the Defector to Josh and then resolves the Zedruu effect. With 1 thing donated to other players, Tristan gains 1 life and draws 1 additional card. Tristan doesn't attack but instead casts both Howling Mine and Statecraft, which will eventually stop either Josh or myself from dealing combat damage. Turn 8. On Josh's turn, he casts 2 cantrips with Sabo's Web and War of Omens and draws 2 cards between both. He also drew 2 cards early in the turn, including Tristan's Howling Mine. Josh attacks Tristan for 2 with Cloudskate. On my turn, my Wasteland doesn't untap due to Josh's Sabo's Web, which is the only land on the table that's currently affecting. I start by drawing 2 cards, playing Forest off the top as one of my 4 land drops for the turn. I cast Thragtusk and gain 5 life and draw a card. I cast Woodfall Primus and use it to blow up Josh's boots, so he won't be able to haste or protect Brago. I draw a card when the Primus enters and then play another land off the top of my library. I split up an attack between Tristan and Josh to try to be impartial. Tristan's Statecraft prevents me from getting through with any damage on him, but Josh is going to lose an elephant in Tristan's Humble Defector, so Tristan will stop drawing cards off it. On Tristan's upkeep, he gives me the Statecraft since Josh doesn't have many creatures at the moment. He gains a life and draws a total of 3 cards. A bit short on mana at the moment, Tristan casts Darksteel Ingot and Anvil Gorgarden for a 2nd Howling Mine effect. Turn 9. Josh draws 3 cards and discards 1. Josh casts Trinket Mage and finds and casts Soul Ring. Josh recasts Brago yet again, and then casts Copy Artifact, clone count 3, copying my Lightning Greaves and equipping it to Brago, which is not good. Josh attacks me for 4 with his creatures, to commander. Brago makes contact so Josh gets to blink his oh-so blinkable permanents. Josh blinks everything he can except for top and Lightning Greaves. Josh returns my Priest of Titania to my hand, draws cards, and adds Mox Opal to hand from Trinket Mage. Josh passes. I draw 3, discard 1, and cast Avenger of Zendikar, making 11 plants. I recast Priest of Titania and equip it with Lightning Greaves. I can't attack from the Statecraft, so I just cast Solemn Simulacrum, find a land, pump plants, and draw a card. I'm just setting up my board state until I can remove the Statecraft. On Tristan's turn, he gains a life, draws 4 cards, and discards a card. Tristan starts by casting Wrath of God, basically just to remove Brago from the table and and pretty much all of my creatures. After the Wrath, I draw a card, get a 3/3 beast, and persist my Woodfall Primus, destroying the Statecraft. Tristan casts Assemble the Legion, which Josh counterspells. Turn 10. Josh starts his turn by rolling damage from Mana Crypt and drawing Discarding. Josh now has exact mana to cast Sword of Light and Shadow, recast Brago a 4th time and equip it with the sword first and then the Lightning Greaves. Josh attacks Tristan for 4 commander damage and blinks things. Josh gains 3 life, returns Phyrexian Metamorph to his hand from the sword effect, untaps his mana producing artifacts, and draws 1 card from the Sabo's Web. And that was Brago on a slow turn. On my turn, I cast Praetor's Council, returning my graveyard to my hand. I then cast Asuza once again. The camera cuts out here, and it's probably best that it did, since this was an extremely long game anyway. Turn 13. My turn. I cast Rampaging Baelofs and play 2 lands and make 2 4/4 beasts. I cast Beacon of Creation and make 15 insect tokens. I attack Josh and he takes 6 damage from the hasty Baelofs. On Tristan's turn, he can start to tell the end is near for him. He has Illusions of Grandeur in hand but not enough mana to recast Zedruu, the illusions, and then donate it to Josh to finish him off. Also, if Josh has any form of permission, that will also be it for Tristan. Tristan instead decides to cast Elish Norn Grand Cenobite as a way of checking Josh, but it's not going to really hurt Josh at all, and only hurt my board. Realizing this, Tristan then attacks Josh with his Sun Titan and Woodfall Primus Clone Count 4. Tristan returns a land to play with the Sun Titan. Josh blocks with his War of Omens and Path to Exile's Woodfall Primus, not blocking with his Phyrexian Metamorph, which is currently Sun Titan. Clone Count 5. Tristan gets a land from the Path. Tristan now has enough mana to cast Gilded Lotus and Ghostly Prison as a final form of defense, but unfortunately, it's not going to stop Josh. Turn 14. Josh rolls damage on his turn and equips his Lightning Greaves from Tristan's Sun Titan that Josh stole from Tristan earlier to his Brago. Josh casts Swords to Plowshares on Tristan's Elish Norn, with Tristan gaining 4 life. Josh then casts Duplicate, exiling Tristan's Sun Titan. Josh then casts his own Lightning Greaves and equips it to Duplicate. Josh then pays 6 mana and attacks Tristan with Brago, Sun Titan, and 6/6 Duplicate. Tristan takes 14 damage. Josh returns cards to his hand and the battlefield and untaps all his mana rocks, because mana does rock. Josh passes and I have got a bit of an uphill climb at this point. Needing to get rid of Josh's artifacts, I consider casting Terastodon, but Bane of Progress would work wonders right now, since Josh currently has 16 non-light permanents and only 2 of them aren't artifacts. I start by casting Priest of Titania and Llanowar Elves. I then give them each haste with Lightning Greaves while I tap them for mana, paying for themselves. I cast Terastodon, destroying all 3 of Josh's Lightning Greaves. Josh gets 3 elephants. I cast Arbor Colossus but don't have enough mana to kill Brago. I cast Oracle of Modiah and reveal Bane of Progress off the top. I attack and Josh ends up taking 7 damage. Turn 15. Josh's next turn is incredible. This is the turn he just goes nuts and completely disrupts any chance I had of winning this game. He starts by casting his own Sun Titan and getting back Lightning Greaves and equips it to the Titan. His deck is just a never-ending cycle of despair. Josh does a bunch more stuff, like recasting Riftwing Cloudskate and getting rid of my only blocker for Josh's flyers. Long turn short, Josh then attacks, blinks things, and leaves me with almost nothing left. I end up taking 5 damage, 2 more commander. I decide to concede if my Bane of Progress gets counted, which it does. Good game, Josh. For your recap, it really was the last few turns that decided this game. I think if Tristan hadn't cast Elish Norn, I might have been able to attack with my insect tokens and probably finish off Josh. I know Josh had Austere Command in hand at the end of the game, but I'm not sure he had it for that turn. If he had cast Austere Command and cleared the board, it would have slowed him down as much as me. Zedruu had a problem with mana that game. He never missed any land drops, but he just couldn't get enough mana on the table like Josh and I were doing. My deck's weakness this game was from flyers. My only blocker for flyers this game was Arbor Colossus, who was easy to get around for Josh what with all his bounce. Brago once again affirms itself as the deck to beat. Without mass artifact removal from Zedruu and myself, every hit with Brago is a pseudo time walk. Resolving Bane of Progress earlier on in the game would have largely benefited and almost exclusively me, since Josh's and Tristan's decks both have lots of artifacts and enchantments. It seems that with 3-player games, you actually end up seeing more of everyone's deck than with games with more people. We might do more 3-player games in the future as a result. Well, that's the game and we hope you enjoyed it. And remember, if you play a Brago, King Eternal deck and you win in your playgroup, try not to Brago too much. Bye!